Hey guys, Christina Marie here, and I'm not doing a weekend reads video, mainly because it's Saturday night and so too little too late. So I thought I would bring you some book reviews. Like, I haven't done a book review video in like a super long time. So I thought I would review a couple of books for you guys. There is a written review on my blog for one of them, but then the other one, I'm not going to do a written review because it's been out for some time and I just didn't see the need for it because I think I'm pretty much lumped up in the opinion of a lot of people. So today I'm going to be reviewing The Revolution of Ivy by Amy Engel and Nowhere But Here by Katie McGarry. Now, these are two books that let's smack myself in the face. These are two books that I just flew through. I really enjoyed both of them, but I'm going to start with Nowhere But Here by Katie McGarry. Now this, I believe, is like a young adult, new adult read. I got the feeling of a new adult because while one of the protagonists was 17, the setting wasn't school. It was really a grown-up kind of a setting. Like, yeah, it usually is determined by the age of the protagonist, but one protagonist was 18, the other one was 17. It just seemed like a really adult relationship. So I'm going to say this was a new adult contemporary romance, and it centers around two characters whose names I have already forgotten, Oz and Emily. Emily is this girl from like this goody two-shoe, all things is right, really normal town, and her mother and her stepdad pretty much have been sheltering her whole life, she comes to find. Now her dad, she finds out about her dad and learns about his history, and she really doesn't want to have anything to do with him because she's under the assumption that he didn't want her. Well, her dad's past comes to the present and it just kind of throws her back into an environment that, quite frankly, she doesn't remember and her mother tried to keep her away from. So they end up going back to her mom's like hometown and whatnot, and Emily finds out a lot of things about her family that she was just unaware of. In that travel back to the hometown, she meets Oz, who is a part of her dad's motorcycle club or whatnot, or is about to be initiated into it. And so Oz is under the impression that Emily and her mother are just outsiders and just are bad influences on the motorcycle club, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with either one of them, especially Emily. And so there are a lot of misconceptions, a lot of dirty secrets that really just come to the forefront as these two grow closer together. Now, Emily's dad is trying to protect her from a rival and illegal motorcycle club, and in order to protect her, she actually needs to stay in the town so he can kind of keep eyes and ears on her. He doesn't want anything to happen to her. And so he gives Oz the responsibility of watching Emily and protecting her. And so that's kind of how their relationship starts to form, because Oz obviously has to be around Emily. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for those of you that actually want to read this, but a lot of crap goes down. And so here's the thing. I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Reason why I didn't give it a full 5 is because the plot, while it was interesting, the reason behind the plot just, it felt like adults being big fat babies and throwing tantrums, and those tantrums cause secrets, and those secrets put people's lives in danger, and people got hurt because of it. And I just, by the end of the story, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's the reason that Emily had to go through all of this? That's the reason that Oz had to go through all of this? I want to punch some parents. Like, that's where I was when it came to this book. Now, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I loved Emily and Oz's relationship. I loved Emily's grandmother, whose name I am failing to remember at this point in time. Olivia, I think. yeah, Olivia. Olivia's a kicker. Now, I'm not going to tell you what Olivia did at the beginning of the story, because if you're going to read this, I want you to be like, I just want you to see what kind of character Olivia is. Like, what she does at the beginning of the story pretty much sets you up for the type of person that she is throughout the whole story. I really enjoyed Olivia a lot. The supporting characters in this book were really, really fun. I enjoyed Oz. Well, even though Oz was like a cocky little bastard, I really did enjoy him. He really just he didn't know a lot of things, even though he knew a lot of things. And Emily and Oz just really, really helped each other. They leaned on one another. They grew together as friends, you know, and it was really nice to watch the relationship kind of progress. Not so sure about Emily's parents, including her mom, her stepdad, and her actual dad. I actually like her dad, her biological dad. I ended up liking him after a while, even though he's part of the reason why I wanted to punch parents. I liked Emily's parents, her mom. I liked all of the adults for the most part. But just reasonings for a lot of things. I'm like, what the F? What's happening here? Seriously? But yeah, I had a great time reading this. I read this in like 3-4 hours. I didn't realize how enthralled I was. It's a pretty quick read. The font is decently sized. I love this. I had a great time with it. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars because I really wanted to punch parents by the end of this book. Like, it ends in a nice place, but punching parents was pretty much my motivation at the end of this book. So 4 out of 5 stars for this one. Now, let's talk about this puppy, The Revolution of Ivy. This book right here. I don't even know how to get started with this. You know, it's very rare that a series, a trilogy, a duology, it's very, very rare that it'll be 100% correct in my eyes. Like, it'll be done in a way that I just see no flaws. And by gosh, like, this duology, like the Book of Ivy and the Revolution of Ivy, this duology, if I have to give it on a scale of 1 to 10, this duology is an 11 for me. Like, I failed to see anything that I personally find wrong with this. Like, I don't find anything wrong with this series. I can't talk about too much about this particular book. I don't like to talk about sequels. But let me just tell you, I loved this conclusion. This book was everything I needed it to be and more. Now, I go into more detail in my written review, which I will link down below. But let me just say, Amy Engel made me fall in love with characters I had never even met before, as if they were in the first book. Like, they weren't in the first book. They were only in this book, but I loved them so much, and I felt like they were part of the journey the entire time. Our main characters, Bishop and Ivy, I only fell in love with them more, especially Ivy. I was really, really proud of Ivy. Ivy is a really, really strong girl. She's very independent, but she's dependent on Bishop in a healthy way. Like, they need each other. They need each other in this story in order to get to where they're going. There's no getting out of this on your own. Now, the relationship between Bishop and Ivy, it was perfect. Now, I described Bishop as a gentle warrior in the first book. And while he's still here in this book, in essence, he had to toughen up a lot and had to do a lot of things that he would not have done in the first book. He had to do those things here because the different environment. The environment, the atmosphere was totally different. Now, the new characters that we're introduced to, I loved them. They were fantastic. But the plot in this one progressed in a way that, quite frankly, while I saw it coming, I didn't see it coming. It's weird to describe. Like, Ivy had to go through a lot. She had to grow up so fast. There were just things that she, quite frankly, was not familiar with that she had to become accustomed to, like that. And Bishop was there for most of it to kind of help and guide her and just give her that comfort. But she was just so strong and just going in and doing what she needed to do for other people, for herself, for her family. Like, it was just a really fantastic read. I did not get second book syndrome from this at all. This defies that. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, hands down. Amy Engel has really, really like skyrocketed this duology to the top of my all-time favorite reads. Like, I simply could not have asked for a better continuation of a story that I fell in love with over a year ago. Like, I fell in love with the Book of Ivy in November of 2014 when I first read it. And when I was told that this book was coming out a year later, I could have screamed. Like, I simply could not believe I had to wait a whole year. But I will tell you, in my opinion, it was so worth the wait. Like I said, not going to go into too many details. I love it when people experience books for themselves. I personally loved this story. I thought that the progression of the plot was really well. I thought that Ivy and Bishop's personal and individual character development was fantastic, as well as their character development together. They could not have gotten through this without one another. Now, the plot. Well, I saw it coming. I didn't see it coming. This is another instance of parents throwing tantrums, not knowing how to get over what happened, not knowing how to heal, not, you know, just not moving on with their lives. And while I will never say that the loss of someone you love is something you can just get over, there is the decision of whether you do good with that loss or you do evil with that loss. And there was a lot of struggle to understand why Ivy's parents, why Bishop's parents did what they did in book 1 as well as in book 2. Like, I personally, well, I have my own thoughts about it. Again, it's punching parents is the theme here in these book reviews, but I understood the pain, I understood the anger, I understood the hurt, but a lot of what is done in here on many sides was not okay. And there's a lot of healing in this book. There's also a lot of I don't know, redemption, I guess. And there is a lot of romance, which I am all for. There are so many different things that this book presents that I quite frankly don't even know how to put it all into words. Well, I did, link below, full review. But I loved this book. I seriously, it was perfect in my eyes. And my friend Jen from Today in Jen's Library, I discussed this with her for a little bit, and we are both on the same page. Like, this book was fantastic. The ending was great. Everything that I expected. While it wasn't exactly what I expected, it was still what I expected and beyond. Your girl's happy, if that's not clear. I am a happy girl. I really enjoyed this book, and if you want to know why I love Ivy and Bishop, please go pick up the Book of Ivy, which is the first book, and then after that, pick up the Revolution of Ivy. You lucky snitches do not have to wait a full year between books, because they're both here now. So go and get them. Oh. So that's it. Those are my reviews for the Katie McGarry book and the Amy Engel book. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel for more videos like this. And comment down below if you've read either one of these books. What are your thoughts? If you have any recommendations on what I should be reading next, trust me, I have a ton of recommendations, but I can always do with more. Comment down below with that as well. Also, let me know what you're reading. Love to know those kinds of things, as you already know. So thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.